Hey there riders, Moto Journo Kris here, and I wanted to talk about the big updates just announced for the Speed Triple RS for 2021 because it's a pretty significant overhaul, and having owned a 2008 Speed Triple, I've got a particular interest in these motorcycles. I managed to murder that bike in pretty unceremonious form and went to a Daytona 675R to replace it, but it was an impressive machine apart from some electrical gremlins which cropped up. I got to revisit the Speed Triple in 2016 when they relaunched that particular model, and I've got to say, Triumph have done an excellent job bringing the feel and handling of the bike closer to the Street Triple as far as the chassis without losing that true speed character. One of the most common criticisms of the Speed Triple has been that performance has lagged behind the hyper naked category, with some bikes approaching 180 horsepower, and while that's honestly not a point I really agree on, it's an area that some riders look pretty intently at when purchasing a new bike. The Speed Triple RS also started at a smidge over 25k here in Australia in 2020 right away. However, the updates do also carry an additional premium, pushing pricing up to $25,600 plus on-road costs, so maybe 27k all up. For those in other regions of the world, pricing in the USA seems to be $18,300 plus all the dealer delivery and associated costs, while pricing in the UK starts at £15,100. The biggest and most obvious change is of course moving to the 1160 Triple, up from the 1050cc version they've been using for quite a while really. It may even have been from 2005 all the way through to 2020, although there have obviously been some significant updates over that time. The short notes of that upgrade are an increase in 30 horsepower up to 180 at peak, while torque is up to 125 Newton meters in a more modest increase of just 8 Newton meters of torque. The rev limit has also risen 650 RPM, with engine inertia reduced by 12%, with Triumph boasting a more impressive intake and exhaust soundtrack. The engine itself is apparently 7 kilograms lighter, taking inspiration from the 765 project to slim down on the scales, and let's be honest, after 15 years, if you're going to update such an iconic model, you're going to go the full hog. The clutch is also updated with a lighter slipper and assist unit with new friction compound and reduced plates, alongside a new stack 6-speed gearbox with smoother shifting and optimized ratios. A new ignition system with twin spark plugs is also used with weight savings in the cooling system. So that's a liquid cooled 12 valve double overhead cam inline triple with a 90 by 60.8 bore and stroke, 1160cc capacity and 13.2 to 1 compression ratio. Electronics are pretty extensive and match to a new 5-inch TFT display, including quick shifter, both directions of course, optimized cornering ABS, switchable optimized corner traction control and 5 riding modes including a track mode. It's a keyless system too, with My Triumph connectivity system as standard alongside full LED lighting. Lift control is also linked into the rider modes to help prevent riders looping their new triple. Also standard is cruise control, a lithium battery and illuminated switch blocks. A big feature of the RS is of course fully adjustable Öhlins suspension with NIX 30 USD forks offering preload rebound and compression adjustability. The rear runs a TTX 36 twin tube monoshock with the same adjustability. Overall, the bike is 10 kilograms lighter with wider handlebars and new footrest positioning for ground clearance, with the seat also modified for comfort and 830mm off the ground. Part of the overall weight savings is thanks to the new chassis, with the frame shaving off 17% to the outgoing speed with an aluminium twin spar frame, aluminium subframe and single-sided aluminium swing arm. You will notice the new frame designs, even if it's a subtle difference, with the new exhaust being the main feature drawing the eye, no longer being under the tail or an Arrow dual can setup. Wheels are also cast aluminium items, both 17-inch of course, with a 3.5-inch front and a 6-inch rear. Tyres fitted will be Metzeler Racetech RRK3s. Brakes are a suitably high-spec Brembo Stylema caliper on each of the two 320mm front rotors, and there's a Brembo twin-piston rear caliper. A Brembo MCS span and ratio adjustable brake lever is also a nice touch, although not new. Styling is quite a change, although it's all the little details to my eye. The new headlight setup is a little skinnier without the panel hiding the back of the dash. It's got a little more aggressive a front visage as a result. There are those little changes to the frame, but the subframe is much cleaner and looks more like the Street Triple version to me. The rear of the bike is quite different. The undertails being gone means the exhaust now hides part of the rear wheel on that single-sided swing arm, and it's a decent but not amazing standard exhaust. Of course, as long as the exhaust note lives up to the Triumph's promises, that'll probably keep most people happy. The wheels aren't quite as elegant, in my opinion at least, although there is a new hollow rear axle and the tail is a little more streamlined, with the seat appearing a bit roomier and longer. The tank is also no longer a two-piece unit and a seat cowl is standard fitment as on the previous RS. The front mudguard remains carbon fibre, but the radiator guards aren't, while the belly pan was a bit more of an eye-catching feature on the outgoing model with the more colourful livery, even if it was just stickers. And that's something I will note about the new model. The colours are pretty downstated, which in the RS model I'd expect something more, maybe a little bit more flair to make these bikes stand out. Now, perhaps that's just me having a bit of a different opinion to most of the people buying these bikes, because they are meant to be a pretty muscly roadster at the end of the day. However, I do think, looking back at when I bought the Speed Triple, it was definitely that quite traditional styling with the beautiful orange bodywork which really stood out to me, and the orange was a real draw card to the bike, where, as I said, the new models are quite downstated in comparison. But otherwise, it's a pretty big overhaul of Triumph's premium roadster, and the bump up in price seems to have been softened by the exclusion of an Arrow exhaust and those carbon fibre radiator cowls which were found on the outgoing RS model, while still carrying the premium features like the full Öhlins suspension, Brembo brakes and a good electronics package. Servicing intervals are also pretty wallet friendly at 16,000 kilometers or 10,000 miles. So the 2021 Speed Triple RS is due to arrive in Australia and the USA in March and in the UK in February. If you've enjoyed the video, leave a comment or hit sub and that notification bell. As always, stay safe out there and thanks for watching.